record this going live. I think you can see it in the corner. If you see the live button. Can you see the live button in the corner? Okay, maybe it's just on my end. Let me title this really quick.
Okay.
Boom. I think I could tag you in it. Bam. And then we will click public. Make sure everything is good. All right, go live on Facebook. Then we'll just hop on here really quick on Instagram. Instagram. All right, I think we are live on Facebook. We're gonna try to get live on Instagram real quick. They need to just come up with a nice solution. I do have some assistance, so let me make sure we're live on Instagram. Are we live on Instagram?
I'm on Facebook.
I mean, on Facebook?
Yeah.
We're good on Facebook.
Okay.
Perfect there, and then
the comments.
I can, yep. And then I'm gonna put us on here. All right, and we are now live on Instagram. You can go ahead and see me on there on my personal, and then request to join on in. And then I'm going to let you in.
Okay, I sent the request.
Perfect. And I'm gonna just turn my volume down on the phone so we don't get any feedback. I think you need to turn your volume down on the phone.
On the phone? Okay.
Yeah.
How's that?
Testing. Are we good? I think we're good on audio. You don't hear any feedback, right?
Okay.
Perfect. All right, we good. I think we're good. All right. Let me see. You look good today, Yolanda. You look great.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. I did have to come.
You know, me and Kasey did a test run. She didn't have that fresh cut until today. So I see you.
You didn't have to call me out of that. I did have to go around and get a fresh cut really quick just for this, because this is a special conversation. Like, I'm super, super excited. I mean, and I'll kick us off here really quick. But just like even growing up in Detroit, right? Like, you and your husband have made huge moves and cultural shifts in the city. So I'm just super excited to one, just personally have this conversation. And also I think folks are just excited to hear more about you building up the brand and everything that you've been doing. So super honored, super excited. So thank you first and foremost for your time.
No problem. I'm happy to be here. I was excited to talk to you. So
I know you're trying to flip it on me. I'm like, no, this is about you. But just to kick us off here, I'll give a little quick introduction about myself and what we do over here. But really want this to be a conversation about you and highlighting you and all the great work, right? But first and foremost, my name is Kasey. A little bit about me. I've been in the digital space, right, and growing businesses since I was about 16. The first business I grew completely organically through Instagram. But that really, during that time at 16, I made like 6 figures in that first business, right? As a 16-year-old, right, just really understanding like there's a lot of power on these social networks, right? And how can I the mission really became, how can I give back and share this knowledge that I'm coming up with and learning about with people in my community, right? So since then, I've built other brands, but the really exciting thing that I've done and really excited about even going into this year is just really being intentional and working with founders like yourself, right? Really focusing on helping Black and Brown business owners scale using platforms like Facebook and Instagram, whatever makes sense there, and getting them to the next level, right? So super, super excited to, again, chat with you. That is a little bit about our company, but even what we're doing for Black History Month is actually highlighting one business owner a week, right? So we are blessed to work with a good number of Black and Brown business owners. So just highlighting them, celebrating them for the month of February and beyond, right? But really for the month of February, just highlighting their stories and hearing what they're up to. And then also at the end of all these sessions, we are giving away some of their products, right? So supporting them, and please go support. And actually, let me on Instagram, let me pin a comment right here, creamblends.com. So I don't need any excuses. We don't know where to go shop and support, right? Let me post that, and then
right. Kasey, like, better buy it.
There we go. All right, we pinned that right there. But that really is the focus for this month, right? Just really supporting our Black business owners and giving back where we can, right? But with all that said, enough about me. Let's talk about you. So, you want to give a quick introduction?
So that's gonna be hard to follow, Kasey. Because you just swagged real quick. Like, I made 6 figures. I was 15. So for those who don't know me, my name is Yolanda Williams, and I am the owner of Cream Blends Skincare, and I'm also the co-founder and chief content officer for Distinct Life, which I run both companies. My husband started in 2013 in our home kitchen, it's a product here in Michigan. So that's the beginning. I don't want to go too far.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Kasey, is it a delay? Like, can you hear me?
There is a little lag.
There's a bit of a delay.
There is a small lag. We'll get through it. For the folks on Instagram, we are also live on Facebook, so you'll see us looking 2 places here. But there is a small lag. We'll get through it. No worries there. Cool. But okay, perfect. Just to jump right in though, first question I have for you, right? And for the audience too, I am blessed to have these conversations with our founders a ton of time, like often, right? And so even for these segments, I really just wanted to peel back the curtains and just have this conversation live with an audience, right? And so this will be a super just casual conversation and things I'm interested in learning as well. And just the conversations that I'm blessed to have, just having an audience with it. So first and foremost, I would love to just understand the story, right? How do we get here when it comes to, and we can talk about Distinct Life and Cream Blends, right? Because I think that's all part of the story, but what's the story? How do we get here?
So I tell people all the time, a lot of times people assume that you went to sleep one night and that you had a dream and you were inside your dream, it was you making body butter. That wasn't the case. For me, the inspiration and the ideas come from my desire to have more freedom. So at the time when I started Cream Blends, I was working in corporate America for an education company. I have a master's degree in education, a lot of student loan debt, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah. And when I was working, we're just trying to figure out ways to to obtain this freedom. And when I say freedom, a lot of people think entrepreneurs don't work, you know, they're like, I want to leave my 9 to 5 and just work on, you know, work for myself. And they don't realize that you're going to leave your 9 to 5 to work probably double, triple
20 to 20.
that amount.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't, you know, it still feels like work, you know. We still enjoy doing it, because I know a lot of times we're like, yeah, I'm working all these hours and it doesn't feel like work. It still feels like work at times, but we know that we're building it for, you know, for ourselves. So I started just experiment, make business owner. We've been business owners since rubber in Metro Detroit. So entrepreneurship was already in the house. So when I brought up the idea for cream blends, but I was still working, I said, okay, I'm going to do this while I'm still, you know, still working, and just give it away for free. So that was the one and only time that I was giving product away for free. So got feedback from from my family when I started making body butters and soaps and candles, and I got the feedback from them, and they were like, Yolanda, you have to do something with this. And Rick, you know, agreed. We came up with the branding for everything. And then once I started it, I didn't expect it to grow as fast as it did. So I started it, I think my first month of sales was like December. By February, I had already gotten the product into Whole Foods.
Oh,
Don't ask me how that happened. You know, serendipity is a big part of, you know, all of our stories, you know, right place, right time. And I went, you know, I was online and somebody was looking up something for Whole Foods meeting with suppliers in Michigan. So they wanted to bring in other small businesses to say, you know, hiring for people that actually live in the area, local people. So I met with them in Ann Arbor, had no clue what was going to happen. So I go in, I had, you know, sent, you know, all my products, literally had no clue on what was about to be asked. I have no understanding of wholesale, how it works, supply chain management, everything was just new. I just got started. So I was like, hey, I'm going to just wing it. Fake it till you make it. So I go in there and sit down like I got this real big, you know, company. Like, hi, nice to meet you guys. Literally, you'd only been in business 2 months. But I had been in business just from our other businesses. We've had things that we ran out of, you know, before we made any money. So I understood business, and it really is just is about selling your story. So they love the fact, you know, Black woman owned, you know, entrepreneur. She's working, you know, family owned business. They tested out the products, vetted where I get all my ingredients, you know, because they're really big on, you know, having an understanding of where you're getting fragrances and, you know, your ingredients from, which was fine. And they told me, Yolanda, we love the product. We want to carry it. You know, just, you know, you just have to add UPC codes. You have to come up with what was it called? A recall plan.
Did you know what this was? You were just like, yeah.
No. No, like, what do I have to lose? So it's like, just send us your recall plan and all of that. I was like, oh yeah, for sure. And then, you know, you get in the car and you're like,
a recall plan.
Plan. You know, so really is this, you know, if I'm carrying cream blend store, have to find a way. If a customer buys a jar on a Tuesday in January, there has to be some, and there's mold or something in the jar, there has to be a way for them to recall all the orders that were in that, you know, those lot numbers. So I'm literally learning everything, Kasey, from, you know, from the jump. So got into Whole Foods. Then a month after that, I mean, it wasn't in Whole Foods a month. It like took us a couple months to get everything ready to be in the store. But then I started getting pressed, you know, Channel 7, Channel 4. They
all organic press.
It was
all organic.
Segment. All organic, which is, we'll talk about how that runs out. As well. But it was literally, I was taking interviews. And so so one of the segments was called Mom's a Genius, where it talks about these women who are moms and they're, trying to start businesses and everything. I hated the term mompreneur. Shit is so corny, but it worked at the time. There was a lot of press and, buzz around, oh, I'm a mompreneur. And I'm like, please don't call me that. Like, I'm way too cool for that title. That's like turning me into, auntie immediately. So I went there and then and then things just kind of, just organically grew from there. I was still working, and then eventually it was doing enough to where we had, Rick was doing burn rubber. We started and we were doing books and so I tell people Rick 2007 until like 2015. So, and I say that just to encourage people that feel like, okay, I'm looking to start something. I got to immediately quit my job with no investors, no money saved, and start a company. And you don't have to do that. So a lot of the stuff we were building was still part of it was on the back of corporate America. In my case, Rick, like he's been an entrepreneur his, entire adult life almost. But for me, that's when I left. And I feel like both experiences were necessary.
I love that. I love that story. So to even just like recap a little bit, right? Like, and this is phenomenal, right? And I want to dive more into like even the organic pieces of it, but started with, okay, I'm gonna just give out some free products in December, right? We're gonna test this. We're gonna trial it with some friends and family. We're gonna see what happens out here, right? February, we're in Whole Foods. Whole Foods. We're trying to find out what recall is and all these things, right? And now,
but December, Kasey, wasn't when we gave out the product. So December was when I started selling it. But before that, it had been like 5 or 6 months of me giving product for free.
Okay.
So yes, I don't want them to think I started December and
only
have 1 month of research.
Got it. So with even like 7 months, let's say, into Whole Foods.
Yeah.
From research, testing, selling a little, and then 7 months into Whole Foods.
Yeah.
After Whole Foods, organic press, and things are just kind of like building up from there.
Yes.
Wow.
And then now we're, we've always manufactured our products ourselves. So our products are made in-house. Each jar is touched by a real person. That's our whole motto. Simple skincare made with natural ingredients by real people. Yeah. So every jar for the last 5, like when I first started, like 5 years so I'm shipping every different. I'm like, I was the employee. Like I know I was my only employee, for years. So you get very in tune with your, about to. So we make everything here, but because I grown to the place where it was time to move out of the house, of course you have a designated space in the house, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Trying to control your overhead before you. A lot of people start something and then immediately I've signed a 5-year lease for a manufacturing space and I don't even really know my target market yet. I don't understand if somebody's been using your product for a year, what happens? Or how does your product look on the shelf 2 years from now? Like you need that data in order to, to be successful at it. So now we're manufacturing in our own facility. And we've tried, working with different manufacturers to produce it. We've tested it out and it's never worked. So I guess we got it from here.
You own it. Yeah, no, I love that. And I have more questions around that in a minute, because I think, especially as more and more folks are trying to start their own brands and businesses and things, right? There is a huge push to outsource that fulfillment side of the house, right? And I think, especially in the entrepreneur world, it's like, just outsource that, just like make the sales, outsource the rest of that. And so I have a different take on it personally, but I love that you all are owning all of this, right? There is a lot of investment and upfront costs and a lot of different things that go into owning your own fulfillment space. But once you do it, and owning that the quality of the products, I believe is unmatched, right? And this is just also for me to say, I do not, people that know me know I do not speak BS, right? Yolanda sent me some of these products, and I'm telling you, like, yeah, they own that fulfillment process, right? The quality of it is so amazing, and it takes me back to even something I was thinking of when you were sharing the story. Like, Whole Foods was asking me about the ingredients because Whole Foods is so keen on what's inside of these things, right? But you had the intention before even that meeting with Whole Foods to be keen on what's inside of these things, right? And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs too, they just want to create something, right, and put something together. I guess, and this may be a bit rhetorical, right? But what led you first to even like this niche, right? Body butters, things like this, and then what led you to be so intentional with the quality, right? Because it is more expensive to be a lot more intentional with what you're putting in there. So what like led you to do that as well?
So I've always been a DIY person. I used to tell people like I'm like the Black Martha Stewart. If I see something done, recipe, decorating your house a certain way, or trying to come up with just different so I was already in that lane. I'm already creative. I was thinking of what to do. And I actually had a friend that brought some soap that she had made into work. And I was like, oh, I really like this. Like, can you teach me how?
Yeah.
And she was like, sure. But we never got around to it because guess what? I move extremely fast. So once something's in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm going to move quickly. I researched the ingredients, got the ingredients, started making soap. Soap isn't even my main thing. Body butter, soap is what into door. So it, into into that realm of body care. And I had a baby at the time. He wasn't a baby. He was like 3 or 4. But after that, it just kind of built from there. If you do soap, you need a lotion after you get out. You need a body scrub. So everything was just built there. And so one of the things that, Rick is big on is branding. And, he just was like, whatever we create, it can't look like bullshit. Even though it's made at home. Like I used to tell my employees, they're like, yeah, it's homemade. And I'm like, don't tell people that. You tell them it's manufactured in Michigan. What's the difference between we're machines? I was like, I'm making the product. I don't want it to ever look homemade. It's Black owned. I do not have to put a black fist on the label to show that we're African American. You know what it is. I want the quality of the product to get you in the door. And then when you find out it's Black owned after, then you like, right on. But other than that, we weren't really leading with, oh, I'm going to just use my, being a Black owned, woman entrepreneur. I would do demos inside the Whole Foods, Kasey, and they would ask me questions about it. I've been supporting years. And I was like, well, it's you? It's me. I'm the owner. A lot of times they don't even expect us to come, they don't expect us to come correct all the time. They assume that we're just, the workers. And so it felt, proud to, I was proud to, to show that. But so skincare is started from the soap that was believe on, like soap that she made for me. Literally started my whole company.
I love that. I love that. Wow, I love that. But I was even just sitting on the what you were talking about in the grocery stores, right? And the looks and the surprise and shocks. Definitely can relate to that. So I was sitting in that for a minute. And I already knew where that story was going, right? I knew what that was gonna look like. But we're here to celebrate Blackness, Black businesses. So we're not even giving them the energy, right? But even thinking about going back to the whole fulfillment side of the house, right? I know I don't know all the challenges that y'all faced even with that, right? I know it has to be a lot to do that. But even with that, maybe, and then additionally, when it comes to just even like scaling since the December, right? Since the first month, what kind of like have been the top like 3 challenges maybe that you faced while scaling the company?
When you're a small company, I will say one of the things with, even us trying to own our own supply chain is that we're small. So I'm not ordering. So let's say I'm getting shea butter from Africa and I'm competing with a L'Oreal that's also getting shea butter from a particular supplier. They're getting millions and millions and pounds of the product. I'm getting hundreds. You get like, so a lot of times things run out because you're a small business. You're like, okay, look, I'm getting what I need for X amount of product. Not necessarily in a position where I can order millions of pounds of shea butter and just have it sitting waiting for for it to be used. So a lot of times when you're a business, your prices for certain products are higher because you're not ordering in bulk. You're not ordering the same amount as as some of these big companies. So we ran into that, and I've had to find, like, so if I'm getting shea butter from one company, I have 2 or 3 backups that have, that where you already tested the quality of it beforehand, because forbid having people saw that pandemic and now you're waiting to get your money. And one thing I pride myself on, even since we've started, I've never not been able to pay an employee. Not one time. I will not pay myself, but I always will pay the people who work for me. Sometimes, people are like, how are you, paying all of this from, and we use our, but we have multiple things going on. So I tell people all the time, like, when you have options, I'm not really worried. I haven't got a PPP loan because I have options, and we're working through, like all of these different, challenges together. So, so ingredients running out, that's like one issue that we ran into. You said 3.
Yeah, or however many. I think you've given us a couple.
Yeah. So yeah, within that's like a big, something that you just have to, you have to learn. Because if you buy from a certain website, let's say, and you go on the next day, and this website is literally where you get everything, and I go on the next day and it's no longer there.
Yeah.
Bye business.
Yeah.
Or at least for a couple months until you figure out. So learn that, like from failing, you learn the most.
That's what I say to myself a ton, right? I being an entrepreneur is super exciting, right? I think the most exciting thing is really just like, and excuse the lag, we are facing a huge storm right now in Chicago, and I think it is interrupting my Wi-Fi a bit.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm looking out the window. It's crazy. But okay. Being an entrepreneur, those failures, I don't want to say like I enjoy them, but the lessons that you learn from them just direct you on the path where you're headed, right? And so when I wake up and I'm like, yo, like it's been a week and there's been like nothing, I'm a little like, yo, like what's going on, right? I need a little something, just to make sure you're in alignment. But those L's, right, are just lessons. That's how I look at it. The L's are just lessons, and huge lessons that you need to be an entrepreneur. But something else I wanted to get to here that I think is amazing, an amazing part of the story, and something I just sit on a ton. You were talking about organic press, right? And just even grow. And I want to make this clear, right? Yolanda and I have like recently partnered. So all the success, right, has been organic, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but just like organic growth,
for
right?
Real organic. Yes.
Yeah. So
person as well.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But walk me through like one, like why organic? Like what, like, you know, why do you want to keep it that way? Or yeah, I'll say why organic, like why was the focus organic? And then also, can we talk a little bit about, and I know you said we'll get there, like a little bit about like the organic press, right? Like how did that press, how did you get that press organically?
Okay, you want me to do the press one first or the
You could do the
why?
press one first.
Okay, so remember I told you guys that Rick are, sneaker stores in, more than just Michigan. So at the time, Rick from that has developed a lot of different relationships, customers, people coming in. I've worked in education. I have friends that are PR people and they are editors at magazines and, talk show hosts. And I think the organic press came just because we were telling our story all the time to our friends, to our families. And a lot of times people want to help you. Like when they see that you're consistently doing something, and I say consistently, like not I'm selling something this week and then next week is something else, and I switch to this Instagram page, now I'm creating another, like be consistent, because it could, people know this is what you're about. Okay, Yolanda has been posting about X, Y, and Z for however many months. And a lot of times we switch so much, people can't even keep up. You're like, go to this page. Now I got a new page. Like, where are you? Where are you? Like, it's too much. You're all over the place. So we were telling our story, and other people just want to help you tell your story.
Yep.
So the organic press came from relationships, I'm good on any MLK Boulevard. Like I tell people that all the time, being good to people, so that stuff, now you're doing something and they're like, I want to help. So I would, I'm also, my bachelor's degree is in English. And so every burn rubber press release, event flyer, like any copy that was needed, I was the one writing all of that behind the scenes from my corporate job. I was the one doing that. So I developed like just those writing skills, ability to, to tell the story. But just send out press releases for different from Angela Yee is our friend. So it worked out, and then that just pushes you that much faster. Rick had, he's friends with a lot of people in the industry, and Hype Beast and High Somebody and the relationships are what allowed the organic growth. So you got to be out there, you got to be meeting people, and that's how that started.
I love that. And I want to say too, right? Because like Angela Yee has many of friends, right? And these folks have many of friends. So I want to emphasize. So like even somebody listening, like, well, I'm not friends with Angela, right? Or like I don't have these connections, right? The key thing that I'm hearing is just like one, intention, right? You're creating a business with intention. And this is kind of what I was getting at, even with the ingredients, right? We created a business with intention, right? We're sharing our stories about the business, and these people that we have relationships with, right? They're receiving that. They're like, okay, I see what Yo is doing, right? This is a good business. There's a lot of intention behind it, right? We have a great relationship. Let me help her out, right? Whether that's Angela Yee or just the person at the church or whoever, right? These people want to help intentional businesses, right? And they want to help you, right? So as long as we start our businesses and have intention in the business, this stuff comes.
Yeah. And you have to look at it too. Like we're not asking to be on the Breakfast Club, or it literally is, I'm running my race. I'm just minding my business over here, building, learning, trying to make sure the quality is right, trying to make sure the look is right, make sure the photography is right. Our ability to talk about what our value proposition is for our business. What do you do? Why are you different? I'm not trying to be Shea Moisture. My product isn't $6. It's not Jergens. I'm not trying to be Jergens. If you want Jergens, get Jergens. But I'm not trying to compete with that. Like I tell people, if you found what works for you, cool with me. Like I'm not pressed. I got multiple pots going. Like, do you? So I think with friends, you're not just forcing them like, hey, I got a business. I want you to support it. Or I want you to, to post me. I don't beg anybody. The majority of our supporters are strangers. So I'm not going to go to you with, you have to show me or, feature me or whatever, because we're friends. Like that's not cool. And it's not a good position to put your family and friends in, to force them into anything. So
yeah, no, I love it. And even on that last point, like I want to pick your brain a little bit about how you think you've been able to create this like loyal following, right? These like just loyal, like you said, most of our customers are strangers, right? But they come back and back. And the reason that I know this is because when I posted that we were chatting, random friends were just like, yo, like, I love this. Like, yo, I just actually ordered a re-up yesterday. I'm just like, there's loyal people that mess with the brand, right? So I want to pick your brain around, especially for entrepreneurs listening, around, how you believe you're able to just create this like loyal customer base, right?
I feel like, so one of my models is I don't argue with anybody. Since I started the brand, if you email me and say, this scent smells a little bit different this month than it did last, I've already sent your refund by the time I've even responded to you. If something hasn't came on time or whatever, you want to you better ask about me, because this is literally what I do. I don't argue with people. They're like, should I send my jar back? Should I send my jar back in? And I'm like, no. Like, I send you a picture showing for the inconvenience. And it's worked to where I don't have to sit around arguing with people. Like, send me a screenshot of this to show that it really wasn't delivered or what. I don't care. God has been blessing us. We are always fine. So there's no hard feelings with that. So with my customers, I always, you want a refund, you get a refund, of course. And they don't abuse that either, so I don't really get people that are just like, my jar cracked and they're lying, like it's a real loyal base. And I think consistently producing the same quality year after year, that was one of the things I was worried about at first, because it's like, how am I going to make sure every jar, and now we've been doing this for over 7 years, and it's been the same outside of shipping issues, and that don't have nothing to do with me, but
exactly,
we handling ours over here. So I think with the loyal customers, and I don't do sales. I hate sales. I do Black Friday sales for the people that support me, that have been buying cream blends full price all year. Customer that you get from a customer, I don't really care. It's a different customer. The people that come for the sale literally will blow your email up. I just ordered at 9:00 today. I haven't got my confirmation that my order is shipped. Like, you just ordered, and you ordered 50% off. And it was free shipping. So I'm good. I'd rather send the code to the people who've been buying full price. I don't take that for granted. If my product is $20 and somebody makes $15 an hour, Kasey, they've spent an hour of their work time and gave it to my business. I don't take that lightly. So they've been paying consistently all year, and then I do a sale that's opened up to everybody.
Yeah.
And these are people, times are hard. Like in the pandemic, people were still buying, even when I told them we can't go in to ship anything. And they were like, well, we just want to still support you. We know that you are a full-time entrepreneur. Like, people really support you when, did I go out?
You're back. You're back.
Kasey?
You're back.
Okay, cool. So people appreciate when, when you appreciate them, I send emails. I call you. Like, people are shocked when
Wow.
they like email something and I literally call. Some of them be a little spicy and I will call as well. Like, when the email was a little,
Ugh.
and I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? You
Yeah.
know, just letting you know that we got your.
Now, yeah, you just dropped some gems right there. Like you drop, and I hope people know. Like y'all see me looking down. Like I'm just taking notes for myself, right? Like I hope y'all are taking some notes because that's
Stop
some
it, Kasey.
gems, right? No, for real. Like I'm just taking notes. That's some gems though, for real. Like that sale piece. I'm not even gonna reiterate it. If you need to hear it again, just rewind and watch that thing. But I love that a ton, and it goes back to what I'm just like. I believe the theme of this conversation and your story is really just like intention, right? And it's just
Yeah.
like it's a story of intention, right? Because even it shows up in the products, right? It shows up in wanting to own that and put out quality products. It shows up in that line you just said. Somebody spent an hour of their time to buy one of my products, right? Like even having that mentality and then that showing up in customer service, you calling people, the sale, like the Black Friday, right? Like it's a story of intention. And I think that gets missed a lot in businesses. And even right when we're talking about, oh, this business reached 7 figures, oh, that like, let's really dive into who these founders are. And then you'll see these people are growing abundantly because they are just so aligned. And something you said earlier, just in their lane, right? In their lane. I'm just only trying to be cream blends, right? That's it.
Yeah.
And that's rewarded abundantly.
Yeah. Because if I'm driving, Kasey, if I'm driving a car and the entire time I'm looking back and to see who's catching up, who's ahead of me or whatever, I'm going to crash into the person that was right there because I'm so busy focused on the other driver. I don't have time to focus on the other drivers. Some of those drivers, some people are like, I got a skincare line too. And, I never really said anything because I didn't want you to feel some type of way. I'm like, girl, we in 2 lanes and it's money for both of us. Go get the money. Like, I'm not worried about you. It's multiple bodies out here. Like,
Yeah.
you don't ever have to feel like, should I tell her that I too want to start selling soap? Girl, go get the money. Like, just go get it. And then with the internet, you ain't even got to worry about standing on nobody's corner like the drug business. It's the internet. There are no corners.
Shout out to all my
Everybody can
corner
have a
holders.
corner. Like, yeah, like retail, was, you're like, okay, this is my corner. I don't want another body, skincare shop joining next to me. Well, I don't have that anymore. So it's online. It's money out here, for all of us. So I think just staying laser focused on what you need to do. And I used to, there are times when I fell into that, like, oh my God, this brand started later than me and they just got bought by Shiseido for 2 billion or 2 million, and so that's how I'm not looking at the people that's building with me. I'm looking at the ones that have sold and I'm like, shoot, I can't wait until I do that. And then everybody gonna be like, they sold out. And I'm like, I'm sorry, sis. I had to get this loan debt out of here.
Yeah, that was even like my last question too. I love to just end on this note. It's like, what's next, right? What's on the horizon? Before I get there, I want to know. So we've been talking about the story about how you've gone 0 to 100 with intention, 0 to 100 with intention, organically, right? Organically. I know we've recently partnered up, but like, what was even the I guess premise behind tapping in digitally, right? So like what's been the shift to be like, all right, let me do some other things outside of organic?
Well, I think we have enough time on our hands now to where there's a lot of data behind the product. There's a lot of data behind who our target market is. There's a lot of data behind the retention rate. There's a lot of data behind the conversion rate, the average order spent. Like, it takes time to, to kind of understand where, what you really offer, really knowing, your business. at first we think that, they say, tell me about your business. And I say, hey, in 2013, I started in my home kitchen. Within 2 months, the brand was in Whole Foods. After Whole Foods, we opened a 4,000 square foot facility. I thought that was knowing your business. It's not. I was a part of this program called G Beta. I don't know if my friend Stella is still on here on the live, and it talked to us about knowing your business for real. What's your month over month percentage of growth? What's your year over year of growth? What profit margin are your products? Have you factored in employees? Have you factored in how much you pay them per hour? Have you factored in how much you pay for shipping? How much is being returned? Have you paid your sales tax? Like, there's a lot of stuff.
Overhead.
First, you don't really think about all those things. So then I'm like, okay, I kind of got a better understanding of that. And hired. And you literally are like, okay, with Distinct Life, we're using our minds. We can get a client that pays $50,000, and then you're like, okay, we did like a month of work for that, and that's it. I don't have to. It's not labor intensive because you're using your brain and your creativity. So with Cream Blends, it was like, okay, this is a lot of work. I don't want to be the mom and pop where 20 years from now I'm still here in the kitchen, and that's cool if that's somebody else's, if that's somebody else's route.
Yeah,
that's fine. I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but I'm not gonna be the old lady where they come in like, I remember when I was a kid, she was selling these, these body butters. No, Yo is long gone, and I'm looking at the brand that somebody else, like, that I sold and founded, and I'm like, look, it's doing great. So when I approached Kasey, I like, it's as much work. We've already done a lot of work. It still requires work, but I'm gonna bring in the pro, show us how to. They're on social media. They're on, on the internet all day. How do I go after them? Especially with retail closing. We don't have a retail space anymore, which is very intentional about that too.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to pay $30,000 to, for a building and deal with parking or whatever weather. So we wanted to be just exclusively online. But when I wanted to partner with you, it was because this isn't my wheelhouse. As entrepreneurs, sometimes we make the mistake of trying to own literally everything. And I know I said I want to own my supply chain. That's different. I'm still going to have employees and people that are helping me do that. But I would try to take classes, Kasey, on digital marketing and return on ad spend and rates. And I was like, I literally, I reached out to you after you went to me, Kasey, really let it go and trust somebody else who is skilled in that area to help us grow. Or I could spend 6 months trying to learn it myself and waste time.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I want to say this that I've just been laughing about since we were chatting last night. So we were working together, right? And I was just like, Yolanda, like, we are doing so well. We were talking about a few little things there. We are doing so good. We're doing so good. And Yo says to me, like, that is great because I haven't checked anything. Like, I just trust you.
I don't check.
Hand it over.
Because I'm so used to having to check everything. Yeah. Kasey, I haven't made a jar of Cream Blends.
I love it.
In over a year now. Like, I don't, like, my employees are running it and they're doing a phenomenal job. Olivia is my production manager and she's like making product. I come in, smell, steal products and candles off the shelves, but they understand the product. Yeah. And I'm able to grow and move out of at first babies, and the baby will never grow up, and I'll always be his mama, and I'll be tired and get postpartum depression and eventually close my doors. So I tell people, like, the babies have to grow up. So this isn't my baby. God has put so much inside myself and my husband that if this ended tomorrow, I'll start something else and we'll make that too.
Yeah.
So it's no like pressure. I think it doesn't work.
On to the next one. Yeah. I love that. I love that.
On to the next one. Find another corner.
Right. Shout out to the corners, man. But no, that's amazing. And I keep reiterating this because it keeps coming across in like everything that you're saying, just like intention, right? And intention. So this has been a super great conversation. I don't want to use up too much more of your time. I think we should run it back though. We got to come back and like do this again. Like I have more questions, and I think the people want us to chat
Kasey,
more.
Can I have a question for you?
Let's go. I knew it. See, that's why I gave a little time because I already knew it. Let's go.
Yeah, I have a question for you because you're dope. And when people were reaching out to me and when they saw that I posted this, they were like, you know, like, this is dope. Like, I was hyped. Like, when I talked to Kasey, guys, on our first call, I took a screenshot of me and Kasey talking because I felt like it was dope to have two girls that are names. She's in a digital space. She, like, cool as hell too. Like if y'all see Kasey know how to dress, I was like, okay, she had me at hello. Like I started looking to Instagram. Like, okay. So Kasey, you're on, you know, like how to scale like digitally. Like what advice do you have for them coming from, you have so much experience in the corporate world and working with small businesses. What do you got for them? Because they need help. A lot of people are struggling out here.
Yeah, I would say super, super high level. One, the first thing, and I love that you mentioned this, and that's why I kind of wanted to curate the conversation around this, right? Is product validation first and foremost, right? Yo is telling us like, oh, I can go and just sniff the products now. Olivia knows how to do this stuff, right? That was 6 years of one hard work and testing and iteration, right? But she also told us the story about product validation, right? Testing it with friends, getting the data right before we even ran an ad, right? And so I think a lot of folks, they hear about Facebook ads, they see what it can do, they see some of the stuff I post about our clients and what we've been able to do, but they have not yet validated that product, right? They have not yet received feedback from customers and know what they should change or understand what they should do, right? So first, product validation. Validate that product, validate the space, survey your customers, understand the business, like Yolanda said, right? Understand my profit margin. So then when I start running your ads, you can understand how we're profitable. You can also tell me, hey, I'm okay to go in the red a bit on the ads because I know on the back end, these people are buying with me 7 times this year, right? So like once you know your business, we can really do some phenomenal things with the ads, right? So I would say first, product validation before you even look into ads. Second, and also with product validation, please be unbiased, right? Because these things can be the baby. You can think like, I have the best product out here, right? But if the folks are telling you that you don't, or that there are some things that we can change, right? Take that feedback and change it, right? So product validation from an unbiased perspective, know the business, and then content. Last thing is content. Like ads work really, really well, right? We use ads to find more audiences that maybe have not heard of us, right? And so to get them, right, think of it like how they do on the Super Bowl, a little bit different marketing, right? But like they're trying to get your attention. They're trying to get your attention, right? So when we go out here on Facebook ads, nobody knows Yo's story like we do in this platform and stuff right now, right? So the content on the front end is key, right? So I would say 3 things, super high level: product validation, know your business, know the margins, know the cost of goods, all those things, right? And then content, right? We can run some ads, but if the content isn't good, if the folks aren't clicking, if they're not engaging with the content, right? The ads will not be successful. So those key things. If you want more, I'm trying to, and Yo knows this, I'm trying to be a lot more active on socials and stuff this month and throughout the rest of the year. So I'll be giving out like just more tips and thoughts there. So follow me or connect with me on one of these platforms. But yeah, hope that answered your question. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, it got lower because I don't know if something happened with my, my AirPod.
Yeah, this call.
But you can still hear me good enough?
I can hear you. You're perfect.
Okay. All right. What was the last thing you said?
The last thing I was just saying, well, the last thing I was just saying, I was recapping the three things: product validation, okay, know your business, and content, right? And then also follow me, connect with me on socials, because I'm trying to share more just tips and stuff on socials. So follow me over there, and we'll chat more about that. But this was really great conversation. Again, I don't want to go over the time that we have here, but this was a super phenomenal conversation. For everybody that stayed on this far, again, I think I mentioned this at the top of the conversation. I will be doing a giveaway, right? So the giveaway, I'll be going in and making some nice purchases of my favorite things when it comes to cream blends, and I'll be sending that to the winner, right? So to enter this giveaway, all you need to do is just share this conversation. I think it was super valuable. And we also just want to support and show love to Black businesses during this time, right? So please, all I ask is when I post this, just share this conversation, right? Let's get Cream Blend some exposure. Let's get entrepreneurs that may be following us or interacting with us listening to this conversation, because there were so many gems dropped, right? So just share this conversation, and I'll reach out to somebody that shared this conversation, and we're gonna put you on. We're gonna get you feeling good real quick. So just share this conversation.
I enjoyed this, Kasey.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Last thing I got from you, yo. If anyone was thinking about working with me, what would you tell them?
To trust her, and like for real, like trust her. Like one of the things that that drew me to you is just, and I watch people for a while before I even reach out to just see what they're about, and your energy and everything match, and your spirit fit with, I'm a big person, like, oh, I don't know, I gotta feel people out. And when I talked to you, it felt right, and I was like, you know what, it's time to start trusting someone who's doing this is what you do every day. Like, I can't compete with that. You can't compete with someone's time in. So I say definitely contact Kasey, and the fact that you told me you knew exactly, like, I want to help small Black businesses. It was straight to the point. And I was like, hey, I'm small and I'm Black. So I got
Let's go. Yeah, no, this is I'm truly humbled, right? I'm truly humbled and just blessed for you, your time, and the folks that I get to work with, right? I tell folks every day, I've probably told you this, like, I'm in the business of impact. So and that's the legacy I want to leave here on this universe. So I'm just excited to partner with great entrepreneurs like yourself, and also share conversations like these publicly, right? So I'll get emotional about this stuff too, but I'm gonna thug it out. But please connect with me.
It's a safe space.
No, it's dope. Like, I just really am reflecting. Like, I'm truly blessed and truly humbled.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we crossed paths, like, for real.
Yeah. Same. So this conversation will be recorded. It was full of great gems. If you want to get some cream blends in your cabinet, please just share this conversation when I post it, and we'll connect that way. Please connect with me on Instagram. Please. If you get nothing from this, go support a Black business. Go follow Cream Blends right now. I pinned the domain below. Go shop with them this month. And then you may get in on the Black Friday sales they run later. So go shop with them, go support and support Black businesses, Black owners, and especially our Black women, right? Making moves out here. So thank you so much, Yolanda, for this amazing conversation.
Thank you, Kasey.
And I'll be talking to you soon.
I'm sorry, I hope y'all can hear me.
We can. You're good. You look good. We can still hear you. And I'm gonna be emailing you your
auntie.
I'll be emailing you your updates. So read the numbers this week. We're doing amazing.
Okay. I believe you.
All righty. Thank you so much for your time, y'all.
All right.
Talk to you.
Peace.